Right. Abby, love that blue color. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first Zoom event of May. I cannot believe today's already May 4th. May is starting. It seems like May is going to be a busy month, a lot of exciting activities happening in the month, in business as well as I'm sure, personally, May, now any of you have kids in school, this is the month that they finish school for the season. As some of you know, I do have three kids in high school, so it's my first time experiencing my oldest graduating in less than 3 weeks, which is pretty crazy. I can't believe it. I'm sure many of you already experienced it, or you're experiencing it, now or coming soon, you're going to be experiencing it. Um, it's pretty exciting season, and there's of course with literally back to back Long Beach, Macau, and Mexico conventions that we had in the past 2.5 months. There's so many new activities that's happening in Riman community, and of course, set of six countries that we're in the middle of launching right now. With last month, just 4 days ago, ending the closing of the first month of business for Chile and Spain and Ireland. And of course, this month is going to be the close of the first month of operation for Italy and Colombia and Peru. And of course, with just literally a few weeks ago, we launched our new Radiance M100, as well as the experience kits and the cleanser kits and the gel cleanser. There's just so many activities happening, so many exciting things happening everywhere. And I know many of you also have been traveling from different cities and different countries for the past few weeks. So it's truly a exciting time, exciting season to focus and be part of the movement of what's happening right now. So I just want to start off the call by saying congratulations to um, most of you that had an incredible finish of April. And of course, on our monthly rundown, we got to celebrate all the top producers of North America. And of course, we have some leaders from Mexico on the call as well. We were celebrating top leaders, top producers of April in Mexico as well. Just huge congratulations to all of you that are right in the middle of the momentum, and you're experiencing the greatest and the fastest growth and expansion and success right now. Huge congratulations to all of you. And those of you that are maybe not experiencing the same level of momentum and success yet, you're here at the right place. I was just sharing this with a group of leaders last week. If you go running by yourself, you run at the speed, you jog and you run at the speed of how you feel and your circumstances. Would you agree with that? If I'm running and if I feel a little tired, maybe I slow down. If I get distracted with different thoughts, maybe I slow down. Right? If I'm focused, I could run faster. And when you're running on your own, you determine the speed of how you operate based on how you feel and what you see and what you're thinking about and what their circumstances are. But when you're running in a pack, when you're running with the group, when you're running with a group of 20 or 10 or whatever amount of people, you actually just you don't decide what speed you're running. When you're jogging with the group of people, you just run with the group. And that's one of the beauty of being together with leaders, like we get together Monday mornings, as well as different Zoom events throughout the week or throughout the month, because there are pace setters that are people that are experiencing for different reasons higher and faster, greater momentum and success. And being in the group where you're in the academy together, you're in team leader meeting together, you're in different Zoom events together, leadership trainings together, you get to catch up to their speed. maybe I had different distractions. Maybe I had different feelings that I was experiencing that was slowing me down. But when I see everybody else running at certain speed, I could join that speed. And one of the greatest ways to get rid of distraction and overcoming how we feel is by overproducing with at a higher level than how we feel. And when we run at that speed with everybody else, we overcome, those situations and feelings. And that's the beauty of being in an environment. That's the beauty of getting together like this. And that's why I love getting together. I know many of us are busy and many of us are traveling, but I love getting together anytime we have an opportunity to get together like this because we're all elevating each other's speed and level of success. So exciting May. May is going to be an incredible month. I know I've spoken to many of you past 3 days. Many of you already made a decision that May is going to be your best month yet. Since 2026 begun, and I'm really excited for you. And I believe with everything in me that that's going to happen for you this month in month of May. Now, we do have some promotions that's happening. I know we announced it during the monthly rundown, but just as a reminder for all the team leaders and above in United States and Canada and Mexico, this fast start promotion, of first 7 days and first 30 days from their start date. This bonus is extended, for the month of May, which I really cannot believe they've extended it. They literally, made a decision last day of the month. They told us, all the regional offices that this was happening, and we're very excited and very excited about this promotion, being in place in the month of May, because I know when it got announced in April, many people, companies never had a promotion like this. So it was their first time learning about start date to 7 days or 30 days and having that conversation. And sometimes when it's something new, it takes us, a few days or a couple of weeks to digest and fully understand and effectively communicate. And we believe that, many people took great advantage of the promotion, but I know many people also, missed out a lot of the time during the month to fully maximize the promotion for those reasons. And in the month of May, now we are familiar with the language and understanding and how to maximize the promotion and it happening now. Again, in the month of May, I think it gives us even a greater opportunity in the month of May to really help people to launch their business faster and more successful from the beginning, from first 7 days and first 30 days of them having additional reason to focus on creating great results. I know that it's making a huge difference, making a big difference in a lot of people's business. As you know, that, let's just talk about, just psychology, right? Let's talk about human nature and people's behavior. How many of you could agree it's very possible? Let's just say Christy just signs up today. It's how many of you agree? Christy's excited. How many of you agree this happens quite often? Someone joins today, May 4th. They signed up. They're excited. They created their account. Maybe they got their essential kit, starter kit, whatever the case may be. And they're excited. They saw the presentation, they tried the products, they're excited about Riman's story, and they sign up today. But she's busy, life is busy, and the sponsor is busy, and everybody's busy, and she's excited. She's doing everything it's asked of her, but there isn't much being asked of her. And there isn't any deadlines and there isn't any set schedule that's like right away because our compensation, you have 3 months, right? You technically, according to the compensation, they count most recent 3 months. So if I even if I made a purchase today, I could count that for 3 months of time. There's no urgency to focus and prioritize and run and take action right away. Would you agree? And here's what happens quite a bit. someone signs up on May 4th. Christy's excited. A week goes by, no activities. Not because she doesn't like the business, not because she doesn't want to do the business, because there just wasn't any deadline or goal or anything in place. And we're already busy and the sponsor is busy. Everybody's busy. So, there are communication, there are different chats or maybe phone calls or Zoom talking about how excited we are about Riman, how excited we are about the products and the plan and things like that. But there are no activities happening first week. How many of you agree that things like that happen all the time? And 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. And what happens is now, even though that we didn't set any particular goals with deadlines, now how Christy feels after 2, 3 weeks in the business, or 1 month, or even 2 months in the business, haven't achieved anything yet, haven't done much activities yet. And what happens is their subconscious starts to feel like, hey, I've been in the business for 2 months and I haven't had any success. Even though that we haven't set any goals and we haven't taken a lot of actions, but just the fact that she signed up and been in the business for 1, 2, 3 weeks, or maybe 1 or 2, 3 months of time, they feel like they've tried and they've been in it and they're not seeing results. Does that make sense? And that happens quite a bit. And what happens is it lowers the standard. It lowers the standard of what the business is and how fast the business could produce and how fast they could have success, as well as the person they're introducing to other people, how fast they could see results. It starts speaking to their subconscious and starts programming their mind that it's supposed to take time and you don't see results right away, and creates the wrong standard. It creates the wrong expectation and wrong behavior. And because of it, even though they love the products and the environment, they love their leaders and the community, but their ability and posture to introduce somebody else to the business, with the expectation of that person having an opportunity to have fast success, starts to shrink and starts to dissolve, and because of it, it makes them weak mentally and emotionally to be able to effectively recruit somebody else. And it's no one's fault, except for if we could avoid those situations, by having a clear 7 days. Not just because they want to, but because now there is an additional incentive to do it. First 7 days and first 30 days, having clear goals to become managers and senior managers, it gives them an opportunity. It gives them an opportunity to focus and prioritize and take action right away in the beginning, with expected certain amount of results in short amount of time. And by getting into those actions, it doesn't just give them extra 60 or 40 or 150 or 100 travel points. It doesn't just give them 100 or up to $500 in cash bonus. What it does is it gives them confidence about the opportunity of what is possible anytime they're introducing other people to the business, by them achieving what in those short amount of time. And we heard a great testimonial from a brand new leader that just started and literally hit, manager 7 days, senior manager in 19 days. And she shared a great story on Monthly Rundown, which was very powerful. And just the same way that she shared, and she didn't even know, right, with Miss Karen Kong and the team, launching with the clear orientation, having them fill out the launching your business document, setting the goals of when they want to be a manager and senior manager by, and having those proper launching activities happen. Where she said it multiple times. I just did it. I didn't even think this was a big deal. I didn't even think I was doing anything, big deal, but man, I guess this is a big deal and this is being celebrated. And she mentioned this several times. And I thought that was so powerful, to be able to properly launch someone, by going through the launching your business document, doing a proper orientation to help them set goals and help them to prioritize, to focus, and take these actions right away to create these stories of getting that extra 100, 250, 500, whatever the amount bonuses, and creating that confidence where now anytime they introduce other people to the business, they know that it is possible for them to become a manager and senior manager in a short amount of time, and they could recruit with that posture and belief. And that's going to obviously build faster and greater success. And this fast start promotion is the perfect promotion to really create that culture, create that behavior, and create that type of activities right out of the gate of launching our partners successfully in first 7 days and first 30 days. So I want to encourage us. Company made it very clear to me that this promotion will not extend after May. This is it. So we have this promotion that's going to end for sure in the month of May. That we really should utilize this to create new culture and better launching process in the team and really help everybody to build their confidence in helping people to launch successfully and earn extra travel points and extra bonus for doing so. Does that make sense? So I know you all understand the promotion, so I'm not going to go over it. But the behavior that we could create and the opportunity that we have to maximize this promotion it's very powerful. And I really believe that if we use this properly next 27 days, May should be the greatest recruiting month you had yet since you started Riman by using this. People you had that signed up in April, they had a chance to get in this promotion and they're seeing it happen in May. What a perfect message. Tell them that, hey, that was the first time that ever happened. Company extended it. Man, you're so lucky because your initial people that you introduced the opportunity to, your first 5, your first 10, your first 20 people you introduced the opportunity to this month, they could have the same opportunity of this promotion as you did, which is very lucky because last month was the first time and this month they made it clear it's not extending after this month. So you and your friends are the luckiest people to get started in Riman at a perfect time. Having that conversation with people that started in your team in the month of April, I really I believe that it will help them to really leverage the promotion and build their team even faster and bigger in the month of May. So I'm sure all of you are already doing that, but let's focus on making sure that we're maximizing the promotion. We do have something that we've never had before, which is pretty cool. Anybody that becomes a manager or senior manager in the month of May, they're getting a tote bag, which is a cool promotion. I think the marketing team did a great job, coming up with a great idea with summertime coming up, a lot of vacation seasons coming up. A lot of us, having extra tote bag like this will be cool, and everybody that gets it, they should post it, they should share it in their group chats and social media and really create a nice buzz. And we could have a great Riman branded, trips and fun activities and barbecues and picnics and have a great time with it. And I think it's going to be awesome. And also, in the month of April, as you know, in the month of May, we have in United States, Canada, we have, if you purchase during the enrollment, if during the enrollment, if they click to add a starter kit during the enrollment, their enrollment fee is waived. So $20 enrollment fee is waived. That's a promotion that we haven't had in North America for a very, very long time. I think over a year. It's a great opportunity to even focus on building team even faster and bigger in the month of May. Let's definitely take advantage of that promotion in the month of May as well. We do have in America continent, we have Colombia and Peru that is in the pre-launch this month. And with the Colombia and Peru being in a unique position, as many of you already saw the announcements from Long Beach as well as the last few weeks, a lot of communications focused on the Latin America calls that we started the enrollment and the product ordering on April 15th. The first close of the month is end of May, but also the products are shipping starting end of May. So it's an opportunity for month and a half of building, signing people up, ordering products, and building their success and story and the foundation with products, not shipping yet until May 31st. And they're doing that without the products yet. Now, some people may say, man, that's a bummer that we don't have products. I also think it's a huge opportunity to have more anticipation building time until May 31st before the product comes. Now, of course, the products are the power of our business, and products, when people try our products, they love it. And there's such a power in demonstrating and experiencing the products. And of course, there's a lot that comes from that, but under the circumstance of not having the product, there's also a benefit of really, taking advantage of the opportunity to build with the anticipation building before the product ships. And to do that, there is a little bit of a different shift in mindset and game planning. And to help with that, tonight we're going to be doing a special pre-launch game plan call. It is going to be the 7 p.m. Peru, 7 p.m. Colombia time. So if you have partners in Colombia or Peru that have signed up or that are preparing right now to participate, we want to encourage you to let them know to join us tonight at 7 p.m. local Peru and Colombia time. And we're going to be having a Colombia and Peru pre-launch game plan special Zoom event. We are also inviting some of the local, Colombia and Peru leaders that are preparing with us to participate. It's going to be a powerful call. The purpose of the call is to give them a clear game plan on what to do, how to do it next 27 days during the first full month of operation in Colombia and Peru for the pre-launch, for them to maximize their opportunity for being part of the pre-launch. So tonight call is going to be awesome. So if you have anybody in Colombia and Peru, invite them. It's going to be awesome. I'll put these flyers in our team leader chat as well for those of you that want to share with your team right after the call. So with all that, I just want to, briefly talk about, the importance of having the right mindset as we go into business building. A lot of people ask me questions all the time. They're like, hey, Danny, I see this happening. I see that happening. I see my business go up. I see my business go down. I see my partners excited. I see my partners, discouraged, based on different events happening, different things happening. How can I keep my business be consistent? How can I make my business be strong and consistent all the time? Here's what I shared with the group of leaders I was just having a call with on Friday. First of all, I believe, being resilient, and it's something that you have to teach, and it's something that everybody has to go through. And, it's part of it is if they've never experienced toughness, they will never get tough. Would you agree with that? There's a saying there, without a test, there's no testimony. Without pressure, the gold can't be, found, and diamonds cannot be found without pressure. The development doesn't happen. And that's something that we have to have a lot of conversations with our teams. We're emotional beings. A lot of people are very emotional. Would you agree? One person says, yes, they're a top of the world, and that person quits, and they feel like they lost everything in the world. And that's what our partners are experiencing every single day. They get encouraged, but they also get discouraged so fast. So, how do you manage through that? I think there's couple of things that we're all of you are probably already doing a great job with. But here's three things that I want to share. Number one is resilience is something that you have to share, and you have to teach, and you have to help them go through. You can avoid tough situations. Would you agree with that? You can avoid challenges in life. And it goes back to what Mr. Jim Rohn was teaching in Challenge to Succeed. Don't wish it was easier, just get better. Don't wish for less problems. Just wish for more wisdom. Don't wish for less challenges. Just wish for more skills. And basically his teaching is reminding us that hey, through problems, through challenges, through hard times and hard situations is how you have an opportunity to get better. And if you get better in those situations, and the reality is you will come out of it stronger than when you went in. So, resilience stories of your stories as well as other leaders' stories and, their story creating, I believe is something that we need to have a lot of conversations with. And I was talking to another leader on Saturday, and she was talking about, but anytime I think about it, I get discouraged with these thoughts that come to my mind. I said, here's something that I've learned 20 years ago that I intentionally practice all the time. And here's what here's what I told her. What I've learned in a youth group when I was young in church, that stuck with me was idle mind is devil's workshop. Anytime your mind is not intentionally thinking something, the enemy of success and, is in there it becomes a workshop for them to work and turn you negative. One of the psychologists said that 87% of self-thoughts that you have is actually negative. If you're not intentionally thinking and it's coming from your subconscious, unless you're trained and unless you're programmed yourself not to, and because of it, so when people are having self thoughts, and that's why when people go through, grieving times, with different bad events that occur in life, right? Worst thing you could do is to leave them alone, right? Worst thing you could do is, to have them go through it on their own. They need surrounding. They need friends and family and loved ones helping them to, get their mind out of that situation, because self-thoughts many times are not positive unless they have trained themselves to do it. So how do you overcome that? And that was the conversation I was having on Saturday. Here's what I've learned, going back to what I've learned in youth group. I don't mind as devil's workshop. So here's what you do. You don't let your mind be available for the enemy to come in and take over and turn it into a workshop. So what do? You input, you intentionally dominate your thoughts nonstop with things that you want to create that are positive, your goals and your things that you want to achieve and why you want to achieve that. And I could look back at my whole career, from the moment when I was just getting started many years ago to having different ups and downs throughout my career. I remember, when I was in a very bad financial situation, many years ago, and it wasn't good. I was doing Las Vegas style circus of juggle. You guys know juggle between Master to Visa to Amex to different juggle. Yeah, different juggle, and I mean just not in a good place. You're using this to block this and cover this and delay this and things are not coming together and momentum isn't there. And I remember letting my mind get in there and having thoughts about those literally 24/7. I mean, it almost destroyed me. I thought, man, if I don't get this solved now, I'm gonna die and it's do or die. But with my mind um, being there and having it literally replay and all I was thinking about were my problems. I remember I didn't think things could get worse, but it got worse. It got worse. It got worse. I remember for almost 6, 7 months of time where I didn't think it could get worse, but it was getting worse and worse and worse. And I was getting myself in a deeper hole in that situation. And then is when I got introduced to audio training program called Commending the Officers by T.D. Jakes, and he talked about something that was so powerful. He said, "You don't have to be out of the situation you're in right now for you to see the victory. Your mind just needs to be out of the situation you're in right now for you to see the victory." And for some reason, you know how sometimes in life you have things like that happen. It's like you hear something, it just hits you like a brick and it just makes sense. And I realized, man, last 6, 7 months, I've been letting my mind live in it. Like I realize that my situation is there, but my mind don't have to live there. And I realize as soon as I get my mind out of it, it's just the nature of the way that the world is created. Wherever your mind goes, your life follows. Wherever your head goes, your body has to follow. And and once I understood that concept, and this is the conversation I was having, past Saturday, is once I understood that concept, and I've been practicing it, for over 20 years, and it's worked for me every single time. And I really wish that all our leaders, in our Riman community will understand it and start practicing it, because the situation doesn't really matter. And that's what I realized. The situation doesn't really matter. How it looks actually doesn't matter. If I could get my mind first to where I want it to be, if I could get my mind out of the situation I don't like, and if I could get my mind to where I want it to be, but live in it 24/7, let my mind live here 24/7 by talking about it, by thinking about it, by planning, and by all my decision making, all my action taking is matching where I want to be, not where I'm at. And once I understood this formula that I've been practicing in, every single time I got out of it. I remember, when everything was, not looking good, but every time you saw me, you would hear me say, "Hey, it's happening. It's happening. We're gonna make it happen." I mean, it was literally every time we open our mouth, it was, "We're gonna make it happen. It's happening." And with people you're personally close to that knew your personal goals, whatever that was, whatever that number was, whatever that rank was, whatever that production was, whatever the income was, whatever the situation that you're creating in your mind is. Maybe it's, getting yourself debt free. Maybe it's getting your, family to a better neighborhood, or maybe preparing something for your kids or grandkids for education, or maybe doing something for your parents, or, whatever it is, being so clear of the goals, and not just goals, the reality you want to create, being so clear of the reality you want to create and why you want to create it, and you emotionally attach yourself to it. And it doesn't matter if the statement says past due. It doesn't matter if I'm behind. It doesn't matter if my bank account balance is not where I want it to be. And there's no way in the world with my current production and current income and current bank account balance that could happen. But I let my mind live in that by thinking about it, talking about it, and making decisions and feeling my reality of coming soon, nonstop with deadline and nonstop talking about it's happening, we're gonna make it happen. And having that repeatedly where you're mentally and emotionally you're living what you're creating, not where you are. Does that make sense to you? And every time I did that, I got out of it. And every time I did that, I was able to get my life created there. And the reason that's so powerful is because um, you know our mind and our emotion doesn't really understand if it's a reality or if it's something that we're creating in for the future. What that means is the greatest example I could give you is any of you, I don't like scary movies, but any of you like scary movies, horror movies? And I don't, but especially I spend over 20 nights a month in a hotel room by myself. I don't like scary movies. There's too many opportunities with new bathrooms every day. You know what I mean? Like new walls and new ceiling every day. I don't like scary movies. But how many of you have ever seen it where you could be watching at a comfort of home and you watch a scary movie? It's not happening to you. It's not happening to you. All you're doing is seeing it and thinking about it, and your whole body feels the fear. You feel scared. The emotion you feel just by watching a scary movie is as if it's happening to you. Would you agree with that? And that's how it is when it doesn't. The situation doesn't have to be real. When your thoughts are focused on it and when your mind is consumed with it, Doesn't matter if it's a scary thought or happy thought, doesn't matter if it's an exciting thought or a confident thought. Your thoughts, your mind, and your emotion is going to live in it. Even if the situation isn't real. Does that make sense? So if you could create, and here's a reason why it's important, because based on what you're thinking about and based on how you feel, that influences the decisions you make. It's how you feel. We make decisions based on our emotion. We make decisions based on our emotions. We make decisions based on our thoughts. So when we are thinking about the situation we're in right now and the emotion that comes from it, and if that situation isn't what I want yet, if I'm not having my dream production yet, if I'm not at my, maybe I'm experiencing $8,000, but I really need 80,000 success. Maybe I'm at 5,000, but I need 50,000 success. Maybe my volume is 20,000 SP, but I really want to be at 1 million SP. Maybe, I have one team leader in my team right now, but I really want to create a team where I have 100 team leaders in my team. Maybe right now, we're in this neighborhood, but this is the neighborhood I want to provide for my family in next 2 years of time. Or maybe I have this debt and debt and different situations I want to take care of. But maybe 3 years from now, 2 years from now, maybe you want to be debt free. Maybe you want your house paid off, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is, if whatever it is, if instead of letting our mind and our emotion be in the circumstance situation we're living in now, if we could train ourselves to not let our mind be idle where it's not being worked. So the self-conscious, the subconscious that's working is working negatively. If you could input the thoughts of where you want your life to be 1 to 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and that's all you're thinking about, and that's all you're creating, that's all you're focusing on, then your thoughts and your emotion is going to come from that, which means your decision making and your activities, your attitude, your posture, and your language and your speaking and everything is going to come from how you feel and what you're thinking about. Does that make sense? So I know all of you are already experts in things like this, but I was just having a great conversation with a leader on Saturday, and I thought it would be good to also remind many of you and share it with many of you, because it is easy to get discouraged and it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to buy into the situations that we see with our eyes and forget that it really doesn't matter what's happening here. You have the ability to create whatever you want to create. If we focus, on the right things and make sure that you're inputting the right things to dominate the thoughts, instead of letting your subconscious control your thoughts. Does that make sense to you? And better we do, more we do, more we practice and more we do that, you will train yourself to be more and more positive, and your subconscious could help you by training and redeveloping your habits and your thinking patterns. And I the reason I share this with you is this is not giant byungpo. This is not lava energy water. This is not an orientation. However, the reason I share this with you is I believe this is, our being able to control and having control of our mindset and our emotion is 90% of your long-term success. Everybody could experience short-term success by the right person showing up and right event happening, but really being in control of your thoughts and your emotion is the secret, in my opinion, for your long-term consistent success. And through our journey together, as we build Riman business and as we build our communities and we work on ourselves to become better leaders and such, I want to just encourage all of you to be resilient and be stronger. Be stronger in having better self-control of your thoughts and your emotion, to create your reality, create the life that you want to create for yourself and your team and everybody around you. So I'm just super grateful, to be in this environment with all of you, for us to grow together, for us to develop together. There's nothing more I want to see than every single one of you here achieve every single one of your dreams and goals that you have written down, that you've been thinking about. end of this year and next year, and in the next 5 years, as we build Riman to become a multi-billion dollar company together, around the world. And it's happening. And we're seeing stories happening every day. We're seeing leaders having success every day. We're seeing promotions every day. We're seeing new people get started and start, dreaming again and start, living again and start being excited about life again. We're literally seeing those stories every single day. And we want you to ride that momentum, ride that speed, ride that, success with us and not be left behind. And it's going to take the right thoughts and right emotion and you being able to control your thoughts and your space properly for you to make that happen. So, I know this was a little different Monday morning call, but I wanted to share some of my personal thoughts with you that I've been having a lot of conversations with last few days. And I want to encourage all of you to make May the best month that you had yet, because I think May has a lot of opportunities to do so. And usually May is a great, great month for business anyways. Weather is so perfect. Everybody's happy. Everybody, that has jobs, they just got their tax refund and, they have, they want to start something new. They have a little bit of extra cash and, it's just an exciting, exciting time. So before we close, Mr. Timmer, do you have anything you want to share with us?
Man, you got me fired up, man. When you started saying about that TD Jakes, I remember after you listened to that, you giving me that, man. That was an unbelievable. We got it all in May. I mean, this is it. You can't get any better than what we got. I mean, we're loaded with promotions to promote. Everything is going in our direction. All we got to do is light ourselves on fire and make it happen, man. So I appreciate this call. Got a lot of great value out of it, as I know everybody else did. Thank you, Mr. Danny Bay.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you throughout Zoom events. God bless you, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.